Welcome back to Mobility Insider. I'm Morten Handelsbo. Our channel remains unsponsored. All of the views and conclusions are based on me having worked in the automotive business for 35 years. What do we have here today? This is the new Kia EV3. This car just finished runner-up in the 2025 Car of the Year competition in Europe. So clearly the journalists in the jury think a lot and very highly of the EV3. What we have here is a very compact car. It's just 431 centimeters in the length and 185 in the width, plus the mirrors, in total about 205 centimeters. At launch, the EV3 only comes with one possible configuration, 204 horsepower on front-wheel drive, 283 Newton meters of torque. The top speed is 170 kilometers per hour, and the acceleration 0 to 100 takes 7.7 seconds. And that comes in this case with a battery of 81.4 kilowatt hours, net 77 kilowatt hours. Prices start at 36,950 Swiss francs for the base version with the 55 kilowatt hour battery. And for this car, as it stands here today with this equipment, it's about 55,300 Swiss franc. Between 36,000 and 55,000 is quite a broad range. So you can have the Kia EV3 in 4 different trims. The first one is the Air. Second one is the Earth. Third one is the Earth Plus. And the top of the line is this car, the GT line. What you get in the GT line is of course more sporty equipment, but you also get 19-inch rims. You also get the heat pump as standard, and you get some more accents and color combinations that are different from the base models. The chief designer for Kia is a person called Karim Habib, and his design language is what we see here today in the new model from Kia. It is called Opposites United. The face of the vehicle is called a tiger face, and it is quite characteristic in the volume non-premium segment. I like the EV9, but it was very big. And now you have a similar design language in the EV3 in a much more compact size. So you get all the benefits of a cheaper vehicle and much better efficiency. And that's a really good combination for me. The efficiency is helped by a low coefficient of drag of 0.263, which for an SUV is a good value. What you get also is a frunk with 25 liters capacity, and you get a trunk with 460 liters capacity. And if you put down the seat, the rear seat, you get up to 1,250 liters of carrying capacity in the car. The car is quite heavy. It's 2,005 kilos, but you do have the ability to pull a trailer up to 1,000 kilos. There will be a 4-wheel drive version coming in about 1 year, and that will have more power, about 325 horsepower. The WLTP range promised is 525 kilometers, and Kia promises a very efficient vehicle with their new technology. We will be testing just how efficient the Kia EV3 is, because now we're going to go on our standard test route with the car. Since 2016, Kia has undergone a tremendous transition with much better technology and a completely different design philosophy. The GT line gets significant more equipment as standard. For instance, the 19-inch rims, the heat pump, and the full safety pack. The glass roof is optional, but it gives you quite a nice feeling in the car with a lot of light coming in. You have relaxed seats, and you also have a fantastic Harman Kardon system, sound system with 8 speakers, which rounds off a really well-equipped compact SUV. I like the materials in the cabin. Yes, there is a lot of great plastics around, but they have combined that with nice colors. There's cloth here that also gives a warm feeling, and the plastics are definitely appropriate for a vehicle in this class. Kia has carried over the big screen from, among other, the EV9, which looks really high-tech and gives you 3 different screens. You got 12.3 inch, which is a touchscreen with the main information where you can change things that are the settings for the car. In the middle you have a 5.3 inch screen which shows you the cabin temperature and the settings for that. Then in front of you have another 12.3 inch screen that gives you the basic driving information, speed and charts and consumption and so on. That works really well. It is reasonably fast. If I press the button, it will take like a second to change, but overall I really like the way this works. It's intuitive and it is a really modern look as well. The car comes with a lot of safety equipment and driver assist. You get a really useful adaptive cruise control that works really well. You got lane assist, you got lane change assist, you got front collision assist, you got side collision assist. There's nothing that you'll be missing in the car. Despite the small size of the EV3, it gets all the safety equipment of much larger vehicles as well. I don't have a problem with the way they work. The function is quite good, but I have a problem with the way they interact with the driver because they are really intrusive. You get the warning tone if you just take your eyes off the road and the camera thinks you're looking in another direction. You can switch these warning tones off, but you have to go into the system on the screen in 4 steps, and then you can disconnect them or disable them. And next time you drive the car, they'll be coming back on again, so you have to do that again. The way you do it, you press the button here on the steering wheel, it will pop up a menu, and there you have to go speed limit, switch it off, you have to take the driver attention warning, click, switch it off, and that is really very troublesome, I think. I kind of like the way the car drives. There's no sensation, it just gets on with it without any surprises. You have 204 horsepower, it's a front-wheel drive car. The power delivery is super smooth. It is not gonna surprise you in any way. It is probably not as fast as some might expect from a 204 horsepower car, but it is adequate. 0 to 100, we just tested it, will take you about 7.73 seconds. When designing the car, Kia really tried to get the best out of the compact design vehicle. It's only a 431 centimeter long vehicle, but despite that fact, you have 460 liters of luggage space, quite a useful space, very square. There's a little bit of funny design of the tonneau cover because it leaves a gap between the rear seat and the tonneau cover of about 10 centimeters, so I don't know why Kia did that. You have a lot of space in this car with a lot of possibilities to stow your gear, and that is very impressive when you look at the size of the vehicle overall. The big screen here gives you ample information about where you're driving. The car also has a preheating system for the battery, so if you tip in the destination into the navigation system, it will automatically prepare the battery for the next charging. The charging planner will also tell you where to charge and for how long you should charge to get the most efficient usage. And finally, you have a heat pump that helps the car reduce the consumption, particularly on cold days like today. So if I take one step back and compare the EV3 to the competition, so there you have Tesla Model Y, you've got the MEB platform from Volkswagen, so the Audi Q4 e-tron, Skoda Enyaq, Volkswagen ID.4, and of course the new Ford Explorer, and last but not least, the Volvo EX40. Well, I think probably the interior of the EV3 is the best of the bunch. It is definitely as good as the Audi, and it is better than the very new Ford Explorer. So that's a really job well done by Kia. I think the car drives well. I think it has too little power, 204 horsepower, the way they have programmed the motors. I think it's probably on the low side. Others do a better job there. But finally, in terms of the consumption, I'm now looking at the consumption. It's 18 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That is pretty much as good as a Tesla Model 3, and that is quite impressive. One area where the EV3 is not quite up there with the competition is the charging speed. It can only charge with 128 kilowatt maximum, which is slow in today's market. it would be appropriate with 175 or 200. So why has Kia done that? I guess it's because of cost. Of course, it's cheaper to have 128 kilowatt than have 200. And secondly, I don't think Kia expects the target customer to put too much emphasis on fast charging, which really you only need for very long road trips. But I would expect Kia to have done better here. So what does this mean in real life? Well, you have an 81.4 kilowatt hour battery gross, about 77 net capacity. So when you have that, you go on a long road trip, you probably have to charge a couple of times. And for 10 to 80%, it will take you about 31 minutes. The best do that in 20 or 22 or 23 minutes. This concludes the standard test route, 1 hour driving, 55.4 kilometers today, with an average consumption of just 17.3 kilowatt hours, which is quite surprising to me, and much better than the comparable Ford Explorer and the Audi Q4 e-tron, both above 21 kilowatt hours for the same route on the same conditions. Today we have 3 to 4 degrees Celsius. Very impressive, Kia. Well done. So what is my final verdict on the Kia EV3? I really like the car. It drives well. Although being compact, it has a lot of presence, and if you go on the highway, you don't feel like you're in a small car. The Kia EV3 will cater for the needs for both young families with children and for elderly couple, as well as young professionals who just need a car to get from A to B. It is not the fastest electrical car around. 7.7 seconds to 100 kilometers is not that fast, but it is a safe car. It drives well. It has front-wheel drive, which many people like and have been used to in many years. So overall, it is a fine package. What it doesn't do so well is the charging speed. That's one of the weaker points of the vehicle. The maximum charging speed is 128 kilowatts, which in today's marketplace is quite slow. Despite the compact size of the car, 431 centimeters in the length, the car is actually quite heavy because it weighs a little bit more than 2 tons. And the price you pay for that is that the load capacity is just 350 kilos. So if you have 4 passengers and some luggage, you will very easily exceed that number. But of course, you do get a big battery, 77 kilowatt hour net, 81.4 kilowatt hours gross capacity, and that of course adds some weight to the car. I think many potential customers will like the design of the EV3. It is modern without being too playful, and it is also quite bold. Personally, I really like the design. Other things I noticed about the car is that it has a lot of noises depending on how you drive. So you have a driver attention camera that will give a warning if you look away from the road for just a second. You also have a speed control camera that will tell you that you're going too fast. And that is quite intrusive for me and too much, actually. You can't switch them off. It will take you 3 steps or 4 steps in the menu system to do so. And you have to do it every time you start and drive off because they come on automatically after you left the car. In terms of consumption, the Kia EV3 is actually pretty good. Now, it is not a powerful car. It has 204 horsepower. The acceleration is a fairly slow 7.7 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers. But the consumption is okay. It's 20.7 on average for my 700 kilometers approximately. And that is an okay result. It's not bad, but it's not up there with the best. The best would be Tesla, and they would have about 3 to 4 kilowatt hours less consumption. So I also tested the car on my standard test route. And here in Eco mode, the EV3 had a really good result. It had just a consumption of 17.3 kilowatt hours for that test route. So that's a very good result. But on highway driving, the consumption of the EV3 goes up rather fast, and there it loses the efficiency a bit. There's one thing that works really well on the Kia, and that's a good example for other manufacturers to look how they have solved it. And that is the one-pedal driving and the recuperative braking system. The braking can be programmed in 3 different levels, from soft to quite hard. And you also have the one-pedal drive function that will make the car stop entirely in front of a traffic light or behind another car. And that works really well. I've decided to give the Kia EV3 3.5 stars out of a possible 4 stars. Now, what would it take for me to give it 4 stars? First of all, the charging speed is just 128 kilowatt. I think that is too slow in today's market. Second thing is there's too much hard plastic in the vehicle. Kia should have used more soft plastics to give the car a more comfortable interior. Third thing, the price of the vehicle is just a little bit too high. There'll probably be a need for price reduction in the future, and that would help the car's rating. And finally, the efficiency of the EV3 is okay, but for a small vehicle, it is maybe a little bit too high. And if you compare it to the much more powerful Tesla Model 3 Performance, which has all-wheel drive and twice as many horsepower, on that basis, the consumption of the Kia EV3 is too high. Thank you for watching Mobility Insider. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share the video, and give us a like. Thank you, and see you in the next one.